What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal, Steele, coming to you live this Wednesday night. Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Eve, rather. Good to see you guys. Got a cool show lined up for you guys tonight, so just get settled in, and we're going to have a good time. Definitely a lot of familiar names in the chat tonight. Kama DeLuffy, Donna Tabuki. I didn't mean that to rhyme. 7-1, Tony C, Alan Schneider. Who else we got in here? Abstractus Artemis, Diamond Hands Freddy, High Tech Low Life, Low Roller, Slay Blaze. The list goes on. The list goes on. Sound gods, of course. Zombie Doge Army. Corey, what is going on? Hector the Dude. Yes, indeed. Great to see you, fine folks. Great to see you, fine folks. Before we get started, if I could ask you just to hit that like button. It just takes a moment of your time. It really helps out the channel. And then also, if you're brand new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. You're watching Steven Steele Live. I'm Steven Steele. And got a real interesting show to get on with tonight. And we're going to chop it up and get into a lot of different things tonight. So yeah, also, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, that's hugely appreciated for all the time and efforts put in. And membership, that's another way to extend your support for the channel, and that unlocks a lot of member exclusive content. And that's just $4 a month. It starts at. You can become a member by clicking the link pinned at the top of the chat. Without any further ado, I would like to bring in a man that needs no introduction in these parts. It is none other than Dogecoin multimillionaire, Nick Balls. Nick, what's going on?
Oh, I just had the weirdest day.
Yeah. What made it one of the weirdest days?
I went to get an oil change, or what I thought was just a basic oil change. I went to Pep Boys, and I went there like last year for a brake job, or I tried to, and they quoted me. And keep in mind, this is on a Honda. They quoted me $800 on my brakes. I was like, absolutely not. Like, this is at most $400 job
for just the
brakes and rotors. Yeah.
For all your brakes, or just
all four. But
okay.
I mean, $800 is insane. So, then they called me. This was a year ago. They called me back. They're like, "Oh, we punched in the wrong code. Sorry about that." I had already gone somewhere else to get done. I was like, "No big deal. It's no big deal." So today I go for an oil change. And, I drop my car off like 10:30, get a text at like 1, saying your car's done. I was like, cool. Hop in the Uber, go pick it up. And I'm right outside in the Uber, and I get a call from them. They're like, excuse me, Mr. Balls, you need to come in. There's a severe problem. And I'm like, all right, I'm in the parking lot. So I walk in.
Severe,
This girl, yeah, this girl hands me a bill for $2,600. I'm like, what the hell? I came here for an oil change. And she's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but like your engine's falling apart. And this is a Honda. And I had just like a week ago, I was actually working on the car. I had the car on a lift. So I like didn't find anything.
So you just had it on a lift too.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Like it was fine. I just fixed some power steering hose problems, and it was all good.
Yeah.
I mean, most people ask me, why didn't you do the oil at the time? I didn't know it needed it, so it is what it is. I've been going to Pep Boys for years, and so they're like, it's $2,600, and I'm like, no, like I'll just go, go to my regular mechanic. So get it off the lift, and they're like, well, we're actually putting oil in it right now. So I'm like, fine, put the oil in it. 2 minutes later, the girl comes out. She hands me the keys. I'm like, "Are we good? What? What?" She's like, "Yeah, we didn't put the oil in." I'm like, "Okay, can I leave?" And I told the manager's guy. His name was Frank, and he was like, He said, I have the bill around here somewhere. Like the head gaskets needed to be replaced. It was like going down the list. I'm like, this doesn't need to be done. This doesn't. And he's like, yes, it does. I'm like, no, it doesn't. He's like, yes, it does. No, it doesn't. We just kept going back and forth. So I raced over to my normal mechanic who does like a majority of my work. I'm like, dude, my car might have issues. I don't know. Take it over to him. We put it on the lift. We take a look at everything. Nothing is wrong. Nothing's wrong with it at all. Other than I needed an oil change. We get it on the lift, and on my oil pan underneath the car in blue silicone are the words, "Fuck Joe Biden."
Let's watch it here. We don't want to YouTube sensibilities, right?
Sorry. But that's what they wrote on there.
Okay.
In blue silicone. I mean, I don't disagree. But why you
but
know
but
why.
but the lack of professionalism there
Yeah.
obviously is kind of a signal of what you're experiencing there on a greater
What?
scale. So they told you that what your transmission was toast.
The all of the heads, all like every head, the head gasket seemed to be basically the engine needed to come apart
Yeah,
on a Honda.
yeah, yeah.
So
So you took it over to your mechanic and he said nothing's wrong.
absolutely nothing's wrong. We just changed we changed the oil. That was it. That's all that needed to be done.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, I called the manager over there. I went off. I actually filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau.
So you
And
wait, hold up. So
yeah,
you called them back.
yeah.
So what did you
After
say
we,
when? All right, well this gets interesting. So what did you say when you called them back?
I was like, bro, like I'm at my mechanic shop right now. Like we have the car apart. Like there's nothing wrong here. Not only is there nothing wrong here, your mechanic vandalized my car.
Right.
Like I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like what is so this Pep Boys used to be a Pep Boys you could go in and buy stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like it was a full shop. Now it's just a place where you go get your car fixed. And I'm like, you know what, your operation is falling apart over there, and it's because of stuff like this and like trying to gouge people for like no gain. Like,
Yeah.
and I could, I don't want this to sound sexist or anything, but like, I'm a dude, like, I'm not super mechanically inclined, but I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I realize a Honda Accord isn't going to cost $2,600 to fix.
Yeah.
Even the parts that they had, that they need, like I could have done all of that for a few $100.
Yeah.
So it was just outrageous. I went off on this guy, and he's like, I know. Nobody cared. No, and everybody working there didn't care.
Well, they cared enough to try to take you for 3K, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
So they care about certain things. They don't care about other things. So
yeah, it was wild, man. I've never. It was just wild.
Yeah, I've had my share of experiences there too. I mean, I've had situations similarly to what you're talking about, where I literally had to show up unannounced and demand my car back before they kept running up charges. Sometimes, what from my experience was what some of these crooked garages will do. They'll kind of hook your car up to some sort of like diagnostics runnings, and they'll just keep running up diagnostics on you for a few days, and if you let them, you'll get $1,000 bill just in diagnostics, right, before they even start or do anything, and that's you just really have to watch it. You really gotta, particularly in that industry, for whatever reason, you got to make sure you got a guy, you got a guy that you trust, because if you don't, and you don't have a lot of knowledge about cars, you're going to get shafted. You are going to get shafted, because that's just how crooked that business is.
That's the thing. I have a guy. I just don't like wasting his time with oil changes. So I've always gone to Pep Boys, for my oil changes, but not no mo.
Yeah. Someone's saying, I think the Bitcoin chart is frozen. Yeah, it could be. Let me refresh it, guys. No worries.
I think Bitcoin is frozen. It's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think that's the chart. I just think that's what's going on there. But yeah, I just refreshed it, guys. I just refreshed it. But yeah, it's a little bit below, trading a little bit below 60,000 right now. We're at 59.9. And we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. But man, I empathize with you, man. I have been there, and you go in for a simple oil change, and if you didn't know any better, you could have spent $3K. And really, what would have they have done? They probably, who knows if they would have replaced anything for that $3K. You know what I mean?
Or made things way worse.
Right.
Right.
And the best thing you can do, if you think in my opinion, if you think your car is at the hands of cheaters and scammers, and you're not there, don't announce that you're coming. Just show up. Show up and demand your car, because they could do something to sabotage your car in the interim.
Exactly. Yeah. And
So-
don't, that's another thing too. People don't really, like, you need to approve all charges. Like you were talking about the diagnostic thing. Like, don't pay those bills. Like, if you didn't approve it, you don't
Yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really solid advice. Usually, from my experiences, you really got to kind of use extra skepticism when you're dealing with any sort of large franchise or chains.
Now it's crazy. It didn't used to be like that for a long
Yeah.
time. That that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, from my experiences, the chains are usually exceptionally bad, but certainly not limited to. My goodness. Fortunately, I have a guy. I just took mine in for my Jeep in for brakes. Now it was just the front brakes, but I mean, after labor on the front brakes, it was like $230. You know.
That's standard.
Yeah. And he never tries to upcharge me or upsell me anything. Once in a while, he'll say, you might want to keep an eye on this for the future. Looks like it's maybe got 10,000 miles left to go before it starts giving you problems, whatever. So, yeah, totally get it, man. Well, I'm glad you avoided all that and got your car out of there. Let's see here. Another thing, too, is if you get dependent on dealership mechanics, man, they'll really sock it to you, man, on dealership mechanics.
Unless you're warranted, in which case.
Unless you're warranted, right.
Yeah.
And I even had it where, especially with my recent vehicle, that fine print they always try to get out of. I've gone back and forth them on a few things of repairs that should be covered under my warranty or factory malfunction stuff, and no, I don't think this is covered. And I read the fine print too, and I look at what's going on with my Jeep, and I'm like, it's covered. It's covered. Handle it. Oh yeah, I guess it is covered. Okay. Anyway, what should we talk about first, Nick? Obviously, the market is not recovered from this most recent correction pullback. When we look at what's happening throughout the market here, and I'm just pulling up some pricing, there are a few exceptions to that rule. One most notably AVAX, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But now Doge trading just a little bit under 24 cents. But it's actually Doge comparatively to a lot of the top 20 cryptos is performing pretty decently. So over the last 24 hours, it's up almost 3%. A little bit of pullback today at 0.3%. But when you compare it to the likes of some others downstream, not too shabby. So I guess you could describe this as the beginning of a soft recovery on this. Nevertheless, I really don't think this is much to worry about. Ethereum is up about 4% over the last 24 hours, down about 0.5% today. So essentially what we're experiencing right now is a slight correction from the uptick post, I wouldn't even call it a flash crash, post correction from about 24 hours ago. So that's what we're experiencing right now. It's interesting because when I went on crypto Twitter, people are like, it's happening again, because everything's kind of just coming back and correcting a little bit, and relax. This is a normal part of the process. I got this article here from Benzinga, says Dogecoin continues to gain utility as the crypto rests before next leg. Dogecoin is trading 2% lower on Monday, despite cryptocurrency now being supported on BitPay's crypto debit card to use as purchases for Amazon, which we'll talk about as well. The addition of Dogecoin as support its payment option adds utility to the crypto. Dogecoin's transaction fees were slashed from 1 Doge to a recommended minimum of 0.1 Doge when Dogecoin Core was released on November 8th. This may entice more retailers and payment services to accept the cryptocurrency as a payment option. Since November 8th, however, Dogecoin has been trading under a descending trend line, but closing each session above the horizontal line at 25.5 mark, which has shaped the crypto into a descending triangle patterns. Dogecoin is set to meet the apex of the triangle on November 17th, where we're here right now. And traders can watch to see if big volume enters when the crypto breaks up or down from the pattern to confirm whether the formation was recognized. If Dogecoin breaks from the pattern, falls beneath the November 10th low of 23.7, it will print a lower low on the daily chart. Dogecoin may have already printed a higher low on Friday, however, And if the crypto makes a lower low on a downtrend, will be confirmed. Bears want to see a big bearish volume come in and break Dogecoin down below the horizontal line of the triangle, which could force it down to retest support at 24.8. Below that level, there is further support at 23 cents, just below the 22-cent mark. So, Nick, what do you make out of all this? Right now, according to a lot of prominent technical analysis, we are in right that apex that it mentioned there today. That is, so according to that, today is kind of a moment of truth for which way we are going to head in the near future here. What are you seeing according to what you've been looking at?
Well, I think this is just a sign of the, crypto recovery from, like you said, I wouldn't even call it a flash crash.
Right.
I would just call it a healthy correction from all-time highs, when it...
Yeah, I don't think it even qualifies. I agree. What happened day and a half ago, people were... that wasn't even big enough to be quantified as a flash crash. I agree.
No. So this is just a corrective phase from Bitcoin's previous all-time high. I am watching Dogecoin, pretty consistently, although I have moved my time. I'm not looking at the 5-minute, I'm looking at the hourly, and I'll kind of leave it there until we make some moves back. It's right on that wedge pattern. It's like right below that wedge pattern right now.
Right.
So as soon as we get back above that wedge pattern that I've been watching, I'll, move into a lower time frame chart. But yeah, no, I think everything is kind of recovering really well. I'm looking at the RSI at the moment. We're just kind of hovering right in the middle. So we're not overbought, we're not oversold, we're just kind of in the middle. Bitcoin seems to be recovering, although at the moment it's putting in lower highs, higher lows. Sorry, I always get those confused. Higher lows. So it looks good. It's making a steady recovery. I know that there's a few key factors. I know, and I'm sure this is a story we'll probably cover here in a minute. But Crypto.com bought the Staples Center, which is pretty big. I mean, that the Staples Center has been the Staples Center for forever. And now it's the Crypto.com arena, which is huge for cryptocurrency. I still think that, I think what we saw in 2021 was kind of just the beginning, and 2022 will be even larger for crypto. So yeah, we're just, looking for a steady recovery. And I think the slower the recovery, actually, the longer it plays out, the better it is, because the more stable things become.
Yes. I would agree with that. I think that's a very astute assessment there, Nick. So now Bitcoin's trading a little bit below 60,000. For whatever reason, there's kind of a psychological thing with some investors whenever Bitcoin dips below 60,000 in, the current landscape of things. They see this as a big red flag. I don't particularly see it as a big red flag at all. You weren't here last night, of course, but I was talking about it last night where, we can expect for Bitcoin to dip at any moment upwards of 30%. And even 30% dips for Bitcoin don't faze me at all. I think this is, particularly when you look at the overall history of the coin, 30% dips are nothing, frankly. We
didn't even make it to the resort last night.
Oh yeah, you took the night off. You and your girlfriend were supposed to do a little getaway there. And what happened?
So this was her deal. She's never actually paid. It's always me paying for it. So she wanted to pay for it one time.
Okay.
So I let her book the room. We always stay in the same room. I told her very specifically the room that we stay in, and I told her, tell them to use my account because they'll know exactly which room. Yeah. And I told her the number of the room, and she did not do that. I didn't even know, the room that we normally stay in I thought was the basic one. I guess there's a level below that we didn't even know about. We've never even seen this room before.
Yeah.
And it was tiny. It was so small. and yeah, we did not fit in the bed.
So you had a queen between the
Yeah,
both of you, because you're obviously a big guy. You couldn't fit in the bed, so then you just went home.
yeah. Well, we rescheduled. We're going in December
You
now.
rescheduled. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So we're gonna go back in December. It didn't cost anything, and this is the weirdest part too. The room that we normally stay in is the same price as the smaller one.
Right.
The hell? So like, what? But we just came back here and we watched the Adam Sandler movie Uncut Gems.
Oh, is that pretty good?
I love that movie. That's actually my second time seeing it. I
Oh,
really
I
like
haven't
it.
seen it yet, but
Oh,
looked funny.
really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Really good. It's not a funny movie.
Oh, it's
It's
not
a
a funny
dark
movie?
No, it's a dark film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like one of his serious roles, and it's really good.
Okay, right on, right on. Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know. I got to be in the mood for really dark films, though. These
Yeah.
days I've mostly been watching pretty lighthearted stuff, and I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, Scott pointed out in the chat, VGX is one of the exceptions today in the market to having a pretty good day, and I mean it's long overdue there with VGX. I'm still skeptical of VGX's long-term future. I've been pretty underwhelmed with the performance of it, frankly, over the last 6 months. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm certainly not taking off the table. The potential's there for it to really keep turning around. So we'll see how it goes.
It still hasn't hit 2017 highs.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
not even close to 2017 highs. It has a long way to go. It has a long way to go, and for whatever reasons, in my opinion, as far as the rollout plans, Voyager has underperformed what they said they were going to do. That obviously directly impacts VGX's market value price with their rollout plans and throughout Europe and Canada and Asia, and all that's tremendously backed up. I don't know for what reasons. They could have really good reasons for that. I'm not sure, but when people were investing a lot more in VGX, they were doing so based off of a lot of them were doing so based off of Voyager's roadmap, and they've underperformed the roadmap so far. I don't know what else to say. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Another huge exception today, and I've been telling you guys about this one, is Avalanche. Avalanche just really killing it today. If you want to pull up an Avalanche chart over there, Nick, and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yeah.
11% on the day.
Yeah, 11% on the day. Yeah, a little bit over 11%. Right now, it's just in a little bit of a correction, but absolutely incredibly bullish day for Avalanche, especially compared to how the rest of the market is doing. And I've told you that this is something you could likely keep expecting out of both Avalanche and Solana. I think Avalanche is at a point, though, where there's even more to be gained from investors margin-wise than Solana at this time, because it hasn't gone quite as nuts as Solana has, but I believe that it's going to. And I think we're going to continue to see nice gains from both Solana and Avalanche as long as Ethereum gas fees pose to be an incredible inconvenience for for folks. And obviously a lot of that depends on the timeline of which Ethereum 2.0 actually hits the market, and these gas fees can get kind of reeled in here and get under control. So we shall see. We shall see. From a miner standpoint, I don't know that I would recommend people go if you're a newer miner. I wouldn't recommend people go all in on Ethereum, because I think that the Ethereum mining situation is likely going to change fairly dramatically somewhere over the next 6 months. So,
well, it's going to disappear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just be very cognizant of that. And let me pull up the story related to something you just mentioned a short time ago. And that is the Staples Center. I thought I had an article here related to the Staples Center. maybe not.
You can just talk about it.
Oh, here it is. LA Times. Let me just pull it up. I'll read a few excerpts from this article, then we'll talk about it. Goodbye Staples Center. Hello Crypto.com Arena. Downtown LA venue. The downtown LA venue, home to the Lakers, Clippers, Kings, and Sparks, will wear a new name for 20 years, folks, under a deal between Singapore Cryptocurrency Exchange and AEG, the owner and operator of the arena. Both parties announced Tuesday. Crypto.com paid more than $700 billion for the naming rights, according to sources familiar with the terms, making it one of the biggest naming deals in sports history. The arena's new logo will debut December 25th. How about that, Christmas, when the Lakers host the Brooklyn Nets, and all Staples Center signage will be replaced by the new name by June of 2022. Crypto.com's chief executive, Chris Marzulk, hopes that the new name will come to be seen as a sign of the times. The next few years, people will look back at this moment as the moment when crypto crossed the chasm into the mainstream. Said when reached, this was a quote from him when he was reached at his home in Hong Kong. This is just such a brilliant move from the guys at AEG because the next decade belongs to crypto, he said. And this positions LA as the particular venue right at the center of it. I think that's kind of the crux of it, right? I mean, this is massive news. A bit underreported in my assessment, particularly in crypto circles. I mean, people are talking about it, but I don't think people have really set into the gravity and the symbolism of this decision. Nick, this is a 20-year commitment, okay? 20-year commitment to this center being referred to as Crypto.com Center, whatever. And, you know, they paid more than $700 million for the naming rights. You know, when you're paying that kind of money, $700 million for the naming rights to a 20-year commitment, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? That speaks volumes to the confidence that digital currency has an incredibly strong future. What do you say?
Oh yeah, I completely agree. You know, it's a huge, I mean, it's almost $1 billion deal. And to put that on the line is, like you said, it is huge confidence on their part. You know, we'll see what they decide to do. I've heard that they're kind of going to be redoing the interior. They're going to kind of remodel the inside. There's going to be some areas where you can go and like get wallets and all different kinds of stuff for you know, crypto enthusiasts. So I'm excited to see. I mean, I was living in LA for a long time, and I remember when Rage Against the Machine played outside of the Staples Center, and it was a big deal back then. It was pretty cool.
Wow, yeah, that definitely goes back. Good.
2 seconds. I will be right back. I go let my brother inside.
Yeah, no worries.
2 seconds.
No worries. Well, Nick's taking care of that. Yeah, let me just extrapolate on this. I think this is such a massive decision. And when we see a 20-year commitment to it and over $700 million being exchanged for the name change, this is an extraordinary step. This is a landmark step, and I think one that we're going to look back on as the beginning of a new age of the mainstreaming of crypto. And this is a pivotal moment, a pivotal step in the mainstreamization of cryptocurrency. It's here to stay, folks. This isn't just, I mean, formerly known as the Staples Center, this is at the heart of all of it, guys. At the heart of entertainment, right in LA. Home to the Lakers, home to the Clippers, etc. This is massive. And just the idea of Crypto.com going to soon be a part of the very common lexicon that people are going to be using across the board, just in reference to it, is huge. It's just going to be a much more regular part of people's dialect, etc. And I think this is the sort of thing that's going to bring in surges and waves of new investors. Like, I just have to see what this crypto thing is about. Maybe I'll just pick up a little Bitcoin, pick up a little Ethereum, pick up a little bit of this dog money, and see what happens. I guarantee that's kind of how it's gonna happen. So I think we're gonna see swaths of new investors coming into the space, new casual investors. They're just gonna, probably not throw down tons of money out of the gate, but I think we're gonna see
Not 700 million.
not 700 million, but I think we are gonna see swaths of new investors even putting in, a few $100 here, $1,000 there. This is the beginning of something. I think a very kind of epic moment in history.
I would agree. I think once they get everything built out there, I'm not, I was a huge basketball fan in the 90s. I have not watched any basketball since then. Obviously, I was living in, Chicago at the time. It was like the center of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see what they do with it.
Yeah. I think they're going to really, like I said, a 20-year commitment with over $700 million on the line. It is just that. It's an incredible commitment. It's one that's rings extremely bullish for cryptocurrency in general. You're not.
Can we say this?
Good.
Crypto Batman called it.
He called this move?
Well, no, I don't know if it's been like, it was 3 months maybe, or maybe longer.
Yeah.
He's been like buying the hell out of Crow.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was calling Crow about a year ago almost.
Yeah. He's been big on Crow, and like, I think he's right, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Crow continues to do really well. How much more room it has to go remains to be seen. Is now the best time to buy in some Crow if you don't have any positions in it? I don't know. You might want to wait for it to retrace more, but
honestly, it's right in back when I was, looking for targets, price target investment, like where the kind of ranges I was looking for. It's not that crazy. Like, it's trading at 56 right now. I mean,
Okay.
Obviously, I think. Let me take a look at all-time high. Oh, crap. Screwed up my screen. I think all-time high is around there. 59. Okay, so it's not too far off. Yeah, if you get anything like under, 54 in that like, 40-ish cent range. I mean, if you're looking for a long play, which keep in mind, guys, now they're looking for a long play. They're going to be around, at the Staples Center or now the Crypto.com Arena for a good chunk of time. They're spending a lot of capital to do that. If you're going to ride or die, and I know a lot of people aren't fond of Crypto.com's business practices here and there. Listen, they all, every company in the crypto market right now is going to have its issues, right?
yeah.
I won't be buying into the Binance.com baller center anytime soon. But
Yeah.
Crypto.com might be one to roll with if you're looking for a long termer.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this months ago. I felt that both Crypto.com and Voyager were going to continue to eat up a lot of the U.S. market in terms of popularity. I will say that I think Voyager's probably underperformed in terms of its reach and popularity, but the only reason why a lot of people aren't talking about Voyager in that regard of its expansion of popularity because it saw the majority of its boom probably about 4 or 5 months ago, just surges of new floods of investors. So definitely don't count out Voyager for another explosion in popularity. But Crypto.com obviously determined, right, to be one of the number one household names that people associate in America cryptocurrency with. They've taken tons of ads out, throughout, and had a lot of NFL associated sponsors and things like this with different various high-profile professional ballers. in their ads, things like this, running these ads, during NFL games, things of this nature. We've never seen any crypto exchange take such drastic steps in helping to really mainstreamize cryptocurrency. What's
coming
that?
in. Donna coming in.
Donna coming in, helping to keep the lights on. First super chat of the night, and boy, is it a nice one. Thank you so much, Donna. Appreciate that. $50 make you holler. Let's go. Thanks so much, Nick. I'm sending you some Tabuki Mojo.
Thanks, Donna.
Heals all.
I was actually I went to the ER place today. Funny enough. A big what not to do. I sat around for an hour for the doctor to see me and say, yeah, you're on the right track. But at least I didn't have to sit in the waiting room. They gave me a text message and I could sit in my car so I didn't have to sit in there with all those coughing troglodytes.
Coughing troglodytes. That paints quite a picture. And Donna looks like she finally got her YouTube name changed over. So Donna Tabuki Technologies. Thank you, Donna. Really appreciate all your support of the show. It's hugely appreciated. Thank you so much.
Donna.
Yeah, hugely appreciated. What were we talking about, Nick?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm not quite as sharp as I usually am tonight, guys, so forgive me.
I can lead it. We're all good. Coming up next.
Well, this one I came across this article from CoinDesk, Nick. It's Shiba Inu coin faces reversion worthy of parabolic rise. Bloomberg analyst Mike McGlone says sees SHIB token frenzy as sign of excess in cryptocurrency market and predicts a reversion worthy of its parabolic rise. Send the dog tokens to the doghouse. Of course, keep in mind this is from CoinDesk.
Also tokens. Very, keep that term too.
Yes. That's the message. Some cryptocurrency analysis who say the stunning rise this year of dog theme. We're gonna correct this because keep in mind this comes from CoinDesk, and we'll get to the who owns CoinDesk in a minute. The message from some cryptocurrency analysis who say the stunning rise this year of dog-themed tokens like Dogecoin and sheep. That's what it says. Represents little more than speculative froth that might hinder the fast-growing digital asset industry's credibility. So, see what they're doing here. Before I read anything else from this article, and the reason why this is the reason why this article stood out to me, because it's essentially a propaganda piece to diss Dogecoin. Not the first time CoinDesk has done this. In fact, they do this quite regularly to Dogecoin, and CoinDesk is owned by none other than Barry
Silbert.
Barry Silbert. So, and basically, CoinDesk is kind of operated as what could be described as kind of a Bitcoin maximalist kind of arm extension, almost like a propaganda extension. Now, not to say that CoinDesk doesn't pen some articles worthy of coverage, not like the kind of coverage we're giving now, right? But, Barry knows better. And the folks at CoinDesk know that Dogecoin is not a token. They know this. But so that they're doing is they're trying to obfuscate those basic realities in order to give a very kind of bearish propaganda spin on Dogecoin by tethering it to SHIB that is actually a token. So it's these kinds of things that you really have to watch out for when you see coverage of Dogecoin, particularly as it relates to CoinDesk and obviously outlets like The Motley Fool, etc. Sometimes it's done out of maliciousness due to clickbait kind of intentions, and sometimes it's due to their own vested interests. And right now, this sort of coverage that we're seeing displayed from CoinDesk, I believe falls in the latter. What do you say, Nick?
Yeah, for sure. If you can, I don't know if you can pull it up. but I made my. I don't make memes very often. Steven is the primary meme king here. He is really good at making memes. He's way better than me. But I did make a meme, and I posted it to Twitter. If you can't pull it up, you can't. You could, or if you can't, no big deal. But I did just make a meme recently that's on Twitter that perfectly sums up this exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm scrolling through here. With the was that the Clueless shit? No,
what's that movie? Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls. That's right, Mean Girls. I'm mixing up my early 2000s teen movies. But let me see if I can quick pull it up here, Nick. There we go. So that's pretty good. It's called Dogecoin. Stop trying to make tokens happen. They're never going to happen. Pretty funny. Yeah, not bad, Nick. Not too shabby at all. So yeah, I think this is very topical to what we're up against right now. So this Barry knows, the folks at CoinDesk know that Dogecoin is not a token. So this is essentially, to me, it's pretty obvious that articles like this are meant to kind of downplay Dogecoin and its importance. I mean, how far down does your head have to be in the sand to not recognize all the very basic accomplishments that Dogecoin has made and headway that it's made in recent times? I mean, why? Okay. If Dogecoin is just like this meme token, which is not a token at all, firstly, why do you think Vitalik Buterin would volunteer to be the blockchain advisor for it, firstly? Secondly, I mean, I put out a tweet a couple days ago, and I'm going to pull it up right now, actually, because I think this is also very topical to what we're talking about. And let me make sure I'm not... I'm caught up on super chats here. Oh, Truckin' All Day.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Truckin' All Day. Thank you for your support, man. Great to see you in the mix. Truckin' All Day, $5 super chat. Can you chart audio? It just popped. Yeah, Nick, if you want to give a look at the audio chart, and we'll talk about that momentarily.
I don't think Steven can pull it up because I don't believe it's on. It's not.
Yeah.
I already took a look for it on. Oh, it is on TradingView. See, this is a more important reason for Steven to get TradingView. You need TradingView, bro.
Yeah, I'll get on it. But what can you just kind of describe what's going on with the charting right now on audio?
It went parabolic.
It's straight up parabolic right now?
Yeah, went from roughly, I'd say low of under $2. This yesterday it was like $1.99, $1.98.
Yeah.
It is now went up to $4.
From $1.98 to $4, pretty instantaneously.
Yeah, so you're talking about a little over 100% rise.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. We'll see how it corrects though.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna look. I mean, the RSI is like in the stratosphere. It's gonna come down, but very interesting. It's hovering at like 3 right now.
Yeah, I remember looking into audio a couple months ago too. The utility on that is very interesting. Antoinette Tabuki coming in with a $2 super chat. Hey Nick, hey Steve, hey, right back at you, Antoinette. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Also,
got 2. Antoinette
coming in large and in charge with a $20 super chat. Thank you. That is awesome. Appreciate that. She says correct amount. So she she meant to add a 9 on there. She says correct amount. LOL. Hey guys. Hey, right back. Antoinette, thank you so much.
22, little dub deucer.
Yes. The twin spin, much appreciated. Tony, appreciate that so much. Thank you so much.
Donna just mentioned. I just want to mention real quick. Donna just mentioned something about Venmo. I hardly ever use Venmo. Almost never. There's one company that I buy supplements from that occasionally they use Venmo, but other than that, now check this out. I just got a request from a random I'm trying to research it right now. Some random doctor's office just requested $200 from me over Venmo. Of course, I declined it, but I just find it odd the same day that I have this interesting experience over at Pep Boys that I get this strange Venmo from a company I've never heard of.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one of those things I noticed too about Venmo. I'll get more strange requests out of there. I still default to. I stopped using Venmo. I just default to PayPal, and I use PayPal. I use Cash App, and I use Zelle. I really like Zelle.
I like Zelle too. I've had Zelle through my bank forever, and it always works really well.
To me, Zelle is the most secure out of all those.
Yes, yeah,
and yeah, so that's usually what I default to, PayPal or Zelle. So I tweeted this out yesterday. By the way, Antoinette says, I'm buzzed. Well, on White Claws, don't judge me. It's okay. We're a night show. We're used to our viewers getting their buzz on while watching the show. So you are not alone. You are not alone, Ms. Tabuki. So I tweeted this out yesterday. One simple tweet to correct the most common lies and misunderstandings spread about Dogecoin on social media. 1, Doge has a lot of utility. 2, Doge has a very active development team. And 3, Doge doesn't have an unlimited cap. It has an annual soft cap supply. Your thoughts, Nick? I'm sure for someone who's been into Dogecoin as long as you have, you've heard all the tropes, you've heard all of the usual misunderstandings, at best lies, at worst spread about Dogecoin over and over again. This gets to be quite redundant, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially from people, like I've seen, it was weird. I didn't have any issues for a few months, and then I had a couple of members that I thought were in the community for a little while, but I got to keep in mind that like a little while, to me is a different time frame for like most people. Like if you've been here a year, it's like nothing to me. So, somebody came, asked me last week, like, why can't we have a cap? I'm like, all right, we got to go over this again. And like, I'll explain it. And like, somebody else asked me, like, why can't we burn tokens or coins? I'm like, we do actually. There's a burn wallet. Mm-hmm. There's been a burn wallet for a long time. If you want to burn your coins, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, these are just the standard things that you just kind of have to continuously educate people on, and it's gonna if you got into Dogecoin and you're part of the community, if you're a member of the community, just get used to it. That's part of the deal, is explaining to people why we're doing these things and why it's healthy for the currency, how the fixed inflation rate is actually lower than the inflation rate of the dollar, and which is basically infinite. Yeah, I mean, it's just things you have to educate people on continuously. There's periods when it gets annoying, but then I'll notice it completely dies down for a while, and then it kind of as things bubble back up, you'll see it again. It's just something you kind of always just got to be cognizant of.
Yeah, to me, it's one of these things where to still be having conversations with people, Nick, that genuinely think that Dogecoin has no utility. It's just like, I don't even know how you can say you're a serious person on any level, how you can purport to have a very basic grasp on what's going on in crypto if you genuinely think Dogecoin has no utility. I mean, this is 101 stuff here. To not understand that Dogecoin has utility, it's been hanging out in the top 10 for quite some time. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's been around since 2013. You're not around that long in cryptocurrency unless you got some utility, unless you've got a super strong community, unless you've got some active development going on. Now, development did take a break in Dogecoin, but There has been a solid development team in place for quite some time, working behind the scenes. No one knows this better than you, Nick. Keeping your investments secure, keeping your investments stabilized, keeping Dogecoin relevant and updated. We have an incredibly strong development team. We've got an incredibly strong organization now behind Dogecoin, overseeing things behind the scenes. The foundation, who I think are doing a marvelous job. We have infrastructures in place, and frankly, that most cryptocurrencies do not. So just because it's also a fun kind of meme coin, and it is, but it's not limited to that, doesn't make it irrelevant. In fact, if we rebranded Dogecoin with a logo that looked like it was, from a dead-end office job that you got to show up to every day, I don't think it would have nearly the appeal that it does. It's just so funny how some people still can't wrap their heads around this concept, but they're going to. They're going to, because I believe that 2022 is going to be far and away the most epic year that we've seen yet as it relates to Dogecoin. Your thoughts?
I completely agree. And you know what? I'm really thankful that we get to call. I'm so happy that I get to call Ross a friend now. And I can talk to him because that dude is so freaking cool.
Great guy.
Ross is a really, really nice guy. A super, super smart guy. Doesn't rub it in your face. He's not
not pretentious.
Not pretentious at all. Just a super cool dude to that I'm incredibly grateful to be able to call my friend. Same goes for Billy. I'm incredibly grateful to be able to call Billy a friend, and I can, I thank God I have the ability to reach out to these guys, because sometimes there's been a couple of situations where I've been well, man, I don't know how I feel about this, and I'm very young. Well, I mean, I'm not very young, but I'm younger.
In the grand scheme of things, trust me, you're very young.
Yeah. I thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm working with just an immense amount of money that if I didn't have people like you and Ross and Billy around me, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that I can call these people friends.
That's awesome. And thanks for putting that out there too. Ross is an exceptional individual. He's become a good friend of mine over the last several months, and I'm grateful for it. And Ross and I have been talking about getting him on the show more now that he's actually going to be streaming less frequently, but he said consequentially he's open to doing more guest spots here. So
I told him that's where it's at.
Yeah. So
you don't have to do any work. And you get all the fun part.
Yeah, be smart, work smarter, not harder. So that's a win for us, right? So we're going to be able to have Ross Nickel on this program more frequently, and looking forward to having him, kind of working him in kind of a semi-regular guest panelist. Isn't that going to be cool?
Dude, that's awesome. I know it's hard with him with his time thing, but dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. Kind of just adding him as kind of a extension of our team here, frankly. So I'm so excited about that. So watch for more streams with our friend Ross in the near future, guys. Josh Randell coming in. The Super Chat's picking up, and I love it. Josh Randell de Savals coming in with a $20 Super Chat. I'm officially annoyed with erroneous Doge myths. Was hanging out with my family when Doge came up. You hold Doge. It's got an infinite supply, though. It's just a joke coin. It doesn't have the use case. I know this is all the tropes, right?
What kind of family are these?
Yeah. And it just gets really redundant, just having to point out these basic. And what really gets me about it is a lot of the times the people that keep purporting this stuff, just kind of the arrogance that comes along with it. It's one thing if you don't know what you're talking about. That's another thing if you're combining that with a level of arrogance. I believe they call that, it's referred to as the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's one of these things. And,
a lot of that on Twitter.
And a lot of that in crypto Twitter particularly, isn't there? My goodness gracious. Yeah. But Josh, we were late. You're in the right place. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. Antoinette coming in again at $5 super chat. Appreciate that. How are you feeling, Steven? Also glad you're actually here, Nick. People miss you in your absence, Nick.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Well, last night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. People are asking where you were.
I'm alive. I just, you gotta spend time with your girlfriends, or friend in my case.
Uh-oh. Freudian slip, Nick?
Yeah, don't let that out.
Just kidding. Antoinette, how am I feeling? One day at a time. One day at a time. Some days are better than others, but my overall trajectory is a good one, and it's a process. But appreciate you. I'm reading the chat, and some things I shouldn't read out loud, but just know that I'm seeing it. Anyway, so let me pivot here to the AVAX story, because I want to get into a little more details of what's going on with Avalanche and why it's doing so well, and kind of extrapolate on that a little bit. This comes courtesy of Cointelegraph. Avalanche's AVAX token surges to all-time high after Deloitte deal defined crypto trend. Token is up 85% in the last 30 days, pushing its market capitalization to $23 billion. Smart contract platform AVAX Avalanche hit all-time high. Wednesday is up over 20% for the week, even as Bitcoin and the world's... We don't need to know that it's the world's popular cryptocurrency. I don't know why I put stuff like that in these articles. Like, we get that. It kind of annoys me at the same time. Every time Elon Musk gets mentioned, it's like Tesla and SpaceX CEO. Like, is there one person on the planet that doesn't know this? It just seems really unnecessary. Avalanche is an Ethereum competitor that facilitates decentralized applications, dApps, and the creation of custom blockchains on its ecosystem. Launched by Ava Labs in 2020, Avalanche's native AVAX token has capped a supply of 720 million and is used as part of the consensus mechanism and is paying for network fees. AVAX soared in price, trading at $104.21, up 85% over the last month alone. The gains have pushed the token's market capitalization to $23 billion, vaulting past Terra Luna token and becoming the fifth largest among Ethereum competitors, or so-called layer 1 base layer alternatives.
It's also the favorite coin of Andy Bernard from The Office.
Is it really?
Yeah, because it was created at Cornell University.
Was it really created out of Cornell?
Yeah.
Well, that's a fun fact.
Yeah.
What was Andy Bernard's a cappella group called again? What was it called? It had a really funny name. And I remember
it's called Here Comes the Treble.
Here Comes Treble.
Yeah, Here Comes Treble.
God.
He has this bit. He does this bit when they're going out to visit a client, and he's like singing all the floors of the elevator, like all the names. It's so freaking funny.
Oh, I know
what
you're talking about there.
Yeah. Oh my god, it gets me every time.
Another super chat coming in. Appreciate this. Josh Randell, appreciate you, man. $10 super chat. My family has known me my whole life, obviously, and has the nerve to think I would invest heavily in a coin if those tropes were true. Yeah, they're kind of insulting your intelligence, right? Insulting your intelligence, Josh. I empathize. I get it. People are like, you're throwing your money in dog money. What's that about? So, we know what we're doing more than many people recognize, and it's one of the reasons why we do this show. Frankly, there's a lot of knowledge that we talk about here as it relates to Dogecoin, Nick, that we take for granted, right? Then we keep. It's easy to forget how many people still don't quite grasp the basics, right? And Antoinette coming in again, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, Nick, I'm on a date, and we're still here. All right, okay, all right.
Can't be that great of a date then, Antoinette. Sorry.
Anyway, so
we don't when we're on dates. My girlfriend, we put the phones. We turn our phones off.
Do you?
Yeah.
Committed.
We so much. We spend so much time online, guys. appreciate spend like being disconnected, for a couple of periods out of the week, not forever or anything, but
See, I can kind of empathize. Like, I go hard. Nick, that
oh
when
god,
it comes to content creation, I mean, there's just a lot of work behind the scenes too. Like,
yeah.
I every waking moment, I'm working in some capacity. So you know me. So it's hard for me to tear myself away entirely. I hear what you're saying, and I get it. I get it. But it's just my mode. It's just my nature.
Nothing wrong with it.
Not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that's actually pretty solid sage advice. But for me, I'm a realist. I know what it takes for me to accomplish the things and the goals that I have, and it doesn't allow for free time for a while. But I'll get there. I will get there where it will allow that. So basically, you guys, I was telling you this. I said, what did I tell you over the last month? I said, keep an eye on Solana and Avalanche, but particularly Avalanche. Avalanche is going to start making big deals behind the scene. That's going to absolutely cause it to soar a minimum. I told you guys a minimum of 3 to 5x over the next few months. So here we are, only 1 month out from when I first told you that, and AVAX is almost already 2x'd. So I think there's a lot of room to go here. I really do. And I think that we're going to likely see Avalanche in that top 10 spot, or hanging out right underneath it at 11 or 12 at the very least. So plus they've got like incentive programs where like 600 million of initiatives to spur growth within the network, and all those details are coming out. Very, very aggressive team, very, very dedicated team, and frankly, I think it's gonna really bode well for them in the long term. Antoinette coming in, $5 super chat. She says, "Haha, fight me, Nick." I don't know if you want to fight.
I'll
Nick.
pass. No, I'm good.
I wouldn't. Mary, New York, coming at the $5 super chat. Thank you for the support, Mary. Good to see you in the mix.
What up,
Good to see you in the
Mary?
mix. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Let's get to another story here, and I definitely want Nick's feedback on this. Another one coming from Coin Telegraph. Bitcoin due to hit 90K in coming weeks despite pullback. Latest technical analysis shows. In case of, I'm starting to see this terminology be used in a lot of the more mainstream financial press outlets now, Nick, and they start the article with it by saying, it's a case of if in doubt, zoom out this week as Bitcoin heads for. I mean, come on, this was not a common phrase before it was in our circles.
He who shall not be named made it.
Did he make it though?
I don't think he made it, but he made it popular.
He popularized it. Sometimes I wonder if we made it.
I don't know.
Because we.
Well, no, because he'd been out before us.
Yeah, but when did people start saying it? He definitely popularized it though.
He was putting in videos.
At the very least, because his reach was much bigger than ours.
Oh yeah.
It still is.
He was doing before us.
Yeah. I think that's safe to say. So I don't know if I don't think he coined it, but he definitely popularized it. It's a case of when in doubt, zoom out this week as Bitcoin heads for a showdown with Taproot and ETF approvals. Bitcoin is still on a run to 90,000 in coming weeks after trapping leverage traders. In its latest market update on November 12th, trading platform Decent Trader underscored popular sentiment on the Bitcoin price action. Update: high time frames remain bullish despite losing $4,000 in a single day on November 10th. Trading sideways since Bitcoin is anything but bearish. Many analysts are not arguing with short-term conditions punishing leverage by long traders, but funding rates still high. However, holders may be in for more pain as recovery kicks in. When it does, new all-time highs are due. Decent Trader believes we remain bullish on high time frames and continue to expect the price to rally up to 85,000 to 90,000 region in coming weeks, which aligns with the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, the update said. An accompanying chart showed the target was as well as nearby support levels, the nearest focusing on in an area around 59,000, which separate research believes could act as a strong line in the sand for bulls. When we compare the cycle from the most recent halving date to previous cycles, we can see that so far we have not experienced a final parabolic run. While not specifically identical to either the 13 or 2017 bull runs, Bitcoin is still in the process of laying foundations for a parabolic run-up. Nick Balls, what do you say?
I would wholeheartedly agree, and if you agree with me, you agree with Plan B. And Plan B says 98K November, and you know what? I mean, it seems crazy. We're a week, 2 weeks max of that target point. And yeah, he could be a little bit off. I think he could be about a month out. But there could be some sort of crazy parabolic run to Bitcoin in the next 2 months that we just is going to smack everybody sideways. According to Stock to Flow, and he's been on since August. He predicted August 47K, hit it. September 43K, hit it. October 63K, hit it. November, he is predicting 98K. I know that seems like it's far, far away, but it's really not. And Bitcoin, just as much as Bitcoin can swing down 30%, it can swing up 30%.
Absolutely.
So we shall see. It remains to be seen. December 135K. This is all according to Stock to Flow, which has been correct for years. So, I'll let it play out, but we'll see. This next week could be huge.
I agree, and considering the track record of Stock to Flow, that really is something to heavily consider as we look at this, you guys. So I absolutely agree with Nick. I think it's definitely on the table. Bitcoin upwards of 100K still within the next 2 months is still very much on the table. Donna Tabuki coming in with a $5 super chat. Nick has a great city. And it shows. Well, I don't understand.
It's Arabic for grandma.
Oh, okay, very good. Sorry. Okay, Nick has a great grandma, and it shows. Okay, very good. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, I agree with you. This kind of rings true to what we've been saying over the last few months, Nick, is that the best is yet to come. That we are still in a bullish season, despite what some may think, but I don't think that we've really seen the legs of this bull run yet. I think it's still incoming, and it could kick in at any time over the next few months. What do you think?
I think it could hit hard.
Yes.
I think that the parabolic, the parabolic nature of Dogecoin, the parabolic nature of Bitcoin, has still yet to remain to be seen this year. In fact, there's been really no parabolic movement in Bitcoin. You're talking about, days of a few percent here and there, but nothing major, which is outside of typical bull run. What would normally happen within a regular Bitcoin bull cycle, you'd see a day of a parabolic move from Bitcoin, which we have not seen at all so far. So, those days I feel are still ahead of us.
I agree. By the way, guys, if you're brand new to the show, you've been watching Steven Steele Live. I'm Steven Steele. That is my esteemed co-host above, Nick Balls. Welcome here. I also like to welcome you to join our awesome community here. Honestly, I believe that we have the best community in all of crypto-centric YouTube, honestly, and would love to have you be a part of it. So hit subscribe, hit all on that notification bell, and ascend with us to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Josh Randell disavows coming in with a $10 make you holler. One of many things I love about this channel and community is how well the panelists unpack and dispel the FUD. You're very welcome, and thank you so much, Josh. Appreciate that, and appreciate each and every one of you guys. And it's really rewarding to know what you guys get out of it. Different people get different things out of it. Some people, Nick, listen to us, believe it or not, and I've gotten numerous messages from people that say, I'm not even necessarily that into crypto. I just like having you guys on at night while I do stuff, and just having you on the TV, and I just like the vibe. I just like the vibe of the show, and that's a
like
huge
half of our
compliment.
show isn't
What's that?
even about, like, half of our show is sometimes not even about crypto, or sometimes even more.
I
There's shows where
agree.
we talk.
I agree. I mean, that was kind of my vision going into this. It's more of just a talk show, and we happen to be into crypto rather than the other way around. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, thank you so much for that, guys. Guys, if you also haven't smashed that like button, if you could just take a moment to do that, this takes a split second of your time. Please hit the like if you haven't already. Let's see here. So I agree with you, Nick. I think $100,000 Bitcoin is not out of question for end of year, and it could still happen. We are hugely overdue for a parabolic rise, and I believe that we are going to experience one of the likes of which we've never seen within, if not by end of year, high probability of the first quarter of 2022. Let's see. Let's pivot a little bit here to what's been going on with J.P. Morgan and Elon Musk. So J.P. Morgan bank sues Tesla for $160 million because of Elon's 420 tweet. Tesla CEO Elon Musk in hot water for his tweets again, and this time it might cost him more than $160 million. Banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase sued Tesla for $162 million for allegedly breaching a 2014 contract regarding the company's stock options. The Guardian reports at the heart of the matter is Musk's infamous 2018 tweet in which he said that he would take Tesla private once its shares hit $420. $420. The bank claims the tweet wound up costing the. I mean, come on. The bank claims the tweet ended up costing the bank millions in potential profit from its options. We have provided Tesla multiple opportunities to fill its contractual obligations, so it is unfortunate that they have forced this issue into litigation, says spokesperson for JP Morgan, said in a statement seen by Reuters. Nick, your thoughts here?
Oh, God.
Exactly.
It's funny that, in pretty much every big economic scandal, whether it be good or bad, JP Morgan is in the middle of it. Always.
Yeah.
JP Morgan has done so many horrific things in its existence, and this just excuse me, might be just one of them. So I don't know. I think it's a big hoopla. I'm sure they'll arbitrage it to whatever, and 100 million is like peanuts to Mr. Musk. So if he has to pay a little whoopsie bill, who cares?
Yeah, and that's essentially what's going to come down to, is a whoopsie bill for Elon Musk. You become more of a target if your messaging gets a little bit spicy and you're shaking things up and you're a bit more unconventional. I can definitely relate to that. Elon experiences that on a macro level. A lot of this too, I think, is as it relates to this specific lawsuit shaping up here. JP Morgan seems to be. It reminds me of when you watch like European soccer matches, how one guy will like fake an injury to the ref to get his attention. That's kind of what this reminds me of, and it relates to JP Morgan. I mean, come on. This tweet really cost you guys millions and millions of dollars. And plus, obviously, Elon was, there's a lot of jest about it when saying 420 and things of this nature. Whatever. How this shakes out remains to be seen. I mean, worst case scenario, this will be a slap on the wrist for Elon. But it's apparently it's the price you pay when you're Elon Musk and you're an edgy CEO, so to speak. So it is what it is. It's whatever. Whatever. Another article from Futurism.com. Facebook shows off gloves that allow you to feel VR objects. Facebook is seriously committed to getting between you and reality. With its newly announced plans to build out a metaverse, the social network has now announced it's building a haptic glove, a wearable meant to enable you to touch objects in the metaverse. Oh yeah, it's changing its name to Meta. The real value of hands to solving the interaction problem in AR and VR is immense, said Facebook Reality Labs researcher Sean Keller in a blog post. People could touch, feel, manipulate virtual objects just like real objects, all without having to learn the new way of interacting with the world. I don't want to get into the rest of this article, but I do want your thoughts on it, Nick. For me, I'm not opposed to the embracement of the metaverse and people spending more time there than they currently do. At the same time, I just get a really creepy vibe about Mark Zuckerberg being at the top of all of this. Now, keep in mind, every waking moment that people will spend in Mark Zuckerberg's Meta is all going to be a matter of record, a matter of data for them to look up at anytime they want to. To me, what's most alarming about the evolution in technology as it relates to the metaverse that I don't think enough people are considering is the inevitable further breach on people's privacy going forward. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like the metaverse. I don't like the idea of it at all. I think it's a horrible, horrible, horrible idea. However, that doesn't mean I won't make money off it. I will make a ton of money off the metaverse. But
yeah,
I think
same.
I think it's terrible for society as a whole. But I'll fund it, I guess. Like, it is what it is. It's not where I want our society to be going. But you know what? If it makes me money, whatever. I don't care.
Here's the thing too is I'm kind of a moderate. Like I'm excited about the evolutions in it, and I'm excited about spending a certain amount of time in it, But when I think about how much time I spend on video games, which is zero, because I don't have time for it, considering all of the goals and ambitions that I have on a daily basis, the amount of time that I'm going to spend walking around in a metaverse and waving to other avatars is going to be limited, okay? Despite how interactive this process may become. Another thing, too, that concerns me about it is almost every moment that you spend in a metaverse is being recorded and is going to be a matter of record.
Well, that's already the case with Facebook as it is. I mean, that, you know, I understand the concern there, and I definitely don't discount it, but this is the case with Twitter, this is the case with Facebook, this is the case with social media. Everything is being watched, and you kind of, you know, going into that, you kind of sign up. You know, like, if you're unaware of this, I'm sorry if I'm breaking the fourth wall to you, but yeah, everything's being watched. So,
and another thing too, that's the most obvious concern is when people start literally living their lives inside the metaverse. There are key things that people will be neglecting for humans to maintain healthy body and mind, and those are movement, fresh air, sunshine, interacting with people in real life. Not to discount the benefits that socialization has that like when we're gathering here today, right? But at the same time, I think there's a difference in quality between if we were gathering, because here, like Nick, you and I, we're interfacing still, we're seeing images in reality. Okay? And when we're interacting even with the chat, it's still grounded in reality. Versus if we were to experience the same thing that we're doing now, but filtered through a metaverse, it seems a bit much. I think that the ramifications of this long term, they're not super well researched. There's a lot of things to be skeptical about. Just make sure you're spending most of your time without an occultist on your face, folks. If you take
what did you call it?
Well, what is that name brand that they Facebook
It's
is partnered
called an
with?
Oculus Rift, but you called it an occultist, which I actually think is a better term.
I think that was like the first. Honestly, it was like the
Freudian.
first thing that came to mind when I thought of it. So there we
I love
go.
it. I love it.
Furthermore, don't you think that there's going to be a pretty high degree of alienation when you considering what the majority of
That's my
Facebook's user base is now, which is mostly our mothers and grandmothers?
that's my biggest concern with this whole thing, and which is why I'm kind of hesitant on putting a huge chunk of money into it at first. I was originally planning on sinking about 100 grand into different metaverse tech earlier this year. My biggest concern right now is that the largest a large majority of Facebook users are over the age of 40, and they're not getting any younger. And if like I'm gonna after the show here, I'm gonna go hang out with my little brother. He doesn't have I mean, yeah, he has one, but he's never been on it. If you look at all of his friends, and none of his friends have Facebook. Most of them use Instagram, and that's very kind of like hit or miss. Most of them are pretty big on Snapchat. Yeah, Facebook is just a dying medium, and I think this shift to a virtual world, I think they have vastly underestimated the amount of capital it's going to take to acquire the user base that's needed to make this profitable. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a big gamble, much more so than I think Mark Zuckerberg is willing to recognize. I think he's a perfect example of what happens when you're just surrounded by yes men at all hours of the day. I
Yeah,
mean,
100%.
yeah, I think he's a pretty good example of that. And you ever see that footage of Mark Zuckerberg talking where he said, when I was human, I mean, I still am human.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that was very telling. That was very telling. When I was human. You ever see the footage of Mark Zuckerberg talking when he's grilling out with friends and he's talking about sweet baby Ray's?
Yeah, we're just smoking some meats.
Yeah, it's so funny because he's like live streaming, trying to be more relatable, trying to be more human to people on Facebook, and he's just like, we're just hanging out, smoking some meats, putting on that sweet baby Ray's. It's this barbecue
Yeah,
sauce, and he keeps awkwardly referring to it over and over again, trying to be a normal human. He's like, yeah, so how's that sweet baby Ray's coming? Hey, how about some sweet baby Ray's? You guys like sweet baby Ray's? And everyone's just like, ugh, what's going on
it's
here?
weird.
Yeah, he's such a strange guy. He's such and not like the good strange, There's like good eccentricity and just like,
Weird.
oh yeah. I totally get from Zuckerberg. I totally get like super like classic weird like villain vibes, right? Like the the guy that's like seeking revenge on resculpting the world in his image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Hey
like.
Steven, I'm gonna get rolling here. I'm still kind of like
No worries, my friend.
recovering
I'll
from.
finish up the show for you. No problem.
Yeah, I have been on antibiotics for far too long, and it's still like hitting me.
I got you,
know
man.
what I
No
mean?
worries. No worries.
I appreciate it. We'll catch you guys later, maybe tomorrow on the next one, or if you're up tomorrow during the day, you want to do space. Holler
Yeah,
at
let's
me.
do a spaces tomorrow. I'll text you.
Cool. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Peace. Later, guys.
Nick Balls, everyone. He's a pretty easy guy to find on Twitter. If you just put Nick Ballz, and he'll be right in there. And I will finish up this show. So, yeah. So this obviously Nick and I expressing a lot of what I believe to be very healthy skepticism. Not just ending specifically with Mark Zuckerberg as it relates to Meta, but metaverses in general. I do think that they're going to be an integral part of our future going forward. But I don't think we want a world wherein we're spending the majority of our time with headsets and gloves on. I just don't see how that's how that's healthy, you guys. But I'm kind of a moderate on that stuff because I also think it can be a lot of fun. And as the metaverse evolves and becomes more lifelike, obviously that's going to carry more and more appeal to people. But at the end of the day, we are a species. We are a human species. We need sunshine. We need fresh air. We need trees. We need to be around these things. We need to be interfacing with people in real life. We need to be interfacing with people. I mean, how kind of weird would it be if you weren't seeing my real face right now and instead you saw a meta version avatar? It just wouldn't be the same kind of connection, in my opinion. It wouldn't be the same kind of connection. Anyway, I think is Antoinette out here. She says, "Bye, guys." Okay, we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. Let me see here. I got another story to cover here for you guys, and that is it's coming courtesy of CBS. UN to Elon Musk. Here's how we would spend your money to fight global hunger. Prompted by a challenge from Tesla owner Elon, the United Nations has released a plan now for how it would provide nearly $7 billion to combat world hunger around the world. The proposal comes 3 weeks after David Beasley, executive director of the UN's World Food Program, told CNN roughly 2% of Musk's $275 billion could help to end world hunger. He later specified in a tweet that $6.6 billion donation would avert famine next year. After seeing the interview, Musk said on Twitter that he would immediately sell shares of the electric car company, which is worth more than $1 trillion, if the UN could explain how the money would, quote-unquote, solve world hunger. If the WP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion would solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it, Musk tweeted, whom Bloomberg ranks as the richest person in the world. Beasley defended his comments in a reply to Musk on Twitter and told the entrepreneur that with your help, we can bring hope, build stability, and change future. Okay. Like, the goalposts completely shifted. This is, oh my gosh. The UN, oh my gosh. Don't even get me started about the UN. But this kind of bullshit just really, really gets my goat. This is a backtracking of epic proportions. This is a changing of goalposts of epic proportions. That's not what was said. That's not what was originally purported and alleged and claimed by Mr. Beasley, the UN representative. The claim was that Elon Musk could solve and end world hunger with about $6 billion. The mainstream media, consequentially, took off with this story and ran with it and smeared Elon Musk all over the globe by saying if Elon wanted to, he could end world hunger through just $6 billion of his money and refuses not to. That was the narrative. Let's be absolutely effing clear here. That was the narrative. So Elon, seeing this and getting hammered from all sides because of this, responds on Twitter and says, "Hey, if you guys can prove that $6 billion of my money can solve world hunger, I'll sell Tesla stock and do that right now." To which the UN representative responded, well, here's a plan. With your help, we can bring hope and stability and change the future. Totally different metrics. Also, these are totally ambiguous words. Now, should Elon throw $7 billion at the UN over a plan of just building and changing a better future and building stability? I would submit that there's probably more effective ways to do that than to hand that money over to the UN to do that, given their track record of corruption, given their track record of getting things done. Okay? So, don't give me this freaking narrative that if you really care about the world, you need to do it through us. You need to allocate all these resources through us, because we know best. Clearly, the UN does not know best. Given their track record, clearly they do not know best. I'm not saying that they haven't been responsible for doing some good things and some good initiatives, But come on, folks. We have a track record through the UN of people just dumping gargantuan amounts of money with very little results to show for it. And that is a consequence through obstruction, corruption, and reallocation of those funds to people of nefarious means and purpose. So it's not that Elon doesn't care. It's not that he's choosing not to solve world hunger. It's not that he's choosing not to solve the world's most pressing, urgent issues and problems. It's that you really need to carefully consider who you're giving money to before you write all these astronomical checks and amounts and allocate this kind of money to particular organizations. You really have a lot to consider here, because there's a pretty good freaking chance that Elon could submit $6 billion in a particular direction towards particular organizations and have very little to freaking show for it 1 year later. That kind of stuff happens all the time, not to the degrees of $6 billion, but to the degrees of tens of millions of dollars. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Elon understands this. He knows this. He doesn't lack the drive. He doesn't lack the intent to wanting to solve the world's most pressing issues. It's just, how do you do it? And who do you work with that you can trust responsibly with that kind of money? Anyway, sorry for the tangent, but actually, I'm not sorry for that tangent. I'm not sorry for the tangent. You guys know. You guys understand. I think the audience gets it here. Oh, great. A brand new name in the chat. Go vegan. Peace out. Thank you so much for preaching at us how to eat and then just leaving. Very compelling. Let's see here. So, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Look at Flint, Michigan. Yeah, actually, and that's actually a good example of Elon really stepping up to the plate to help solve what has been happening there with the water and everything. The government completely failing on that. Even years later, it really took Elon Musk stepping in and making things happen there, physically flying in there, following up with it to ensure that the things that he allocated money towards is being done, is following through. Anyway, so I don't know if I have anything else to add onto the show. I think I got one other story. Let me pull it up right now. This comes courtesy. Nope. Already covered that one. Yeah, I think I covered most of the news here. So just kind of summarize, you guys. Just to summarize, the UN is full of shit. Elon Musk is smarter than most of his enemies give him credit for. And Dogecoin is going to have an absolute massive year in 2022. We've got dynamics all shaping up to really just apex this thing into outer space, in my opinion. And I think Q1 of 2022 is shaping up to be the most epic thing that we've seen as it relates to dog money, as it relates to cryptocurrency, frankly. I also think that $100,000 Bitcoin is definitely still on the table within the next 2 months. Don't count that out. In fact, I think the journey from even where we are at 60,000 to 90,000 for Bitcoin is something that could be relatively achieved very quickly at any moment. Someone suggested I should go on AJ's show. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'd be down to mix it up with him. Absolutely. Anyway, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow in the day, it's sometime throughout tomorrow in the day. Those of you on Twitter, keep an eye on Twitter. Keep your notifications on there for Nick and I. We are going to be doing a Spaces on Twitter probably tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll do a show again in the evening. I'm going to also have a members only. I'm going to have a members only stream tomorrow night after tomorrow night's show. So tomorrow will be a very busy day. I'm going to do a Twitter Spaces. I'm going to do a show with you guys. I'm going to do a members only stream after that. So watch out for all of those things. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Down in Tabuki coming in with a $5 super chat. Tony didn't leave. She had to go pee-pee. Sorry, honey. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm drunk. I can't help it. I think that's a good way to close the show. Enjoy yourselves, guys. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to laugh. And let's enjoy this journey together. Appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Steven Steele signing out.